a Tesla fan, please stick around for a couple seconds and hear me out. Here we go. We do a live video every single weekday at 2 o'clock. We talk about the Kia product. Now, where this video comes from is we also are a leading EV dealer. We sell a lot of used Teslas. And about a week or so ago, I did a video on the Tesla Model 3 and Tesla Model Y size comparison. And it's doing quite well. It's got about 34,000 views right now. And a lot of people made some comments, including a lot of hardcore Tesla fans, about some strange stuff. So here's the thing. If you are a super hardcore Tesla fan that is going to say that the Tesla is better than every other car in every other way, this probably isn't going to be the video for you. What this video is a honest comparison of the Tesla Model 3, Tesla Model Y, and the Kia Soul EV that I actually own. And I'm pretty well versed in my Teslas, not as well as some of you Tesla fans, but I would still say that I would buy my Kia Soul again over these Teslas. And I think some of you Tesla people should hear what is in some of the other electric vehicles. So that's what this video is going to be about. We're going to talk about some of the benefits of Kia Soul, and it's not just price. There are some benefits that Kia EVs do that Tesla doesn't have, and I think that's partly something that we should talk about. However, I really like Teslas, so I'm with you on this, and there's a lot of good reasons to like it. It's going to be a fun video. We get to look at two Teslas and a car that kind of has some different features that kind of gets the get to the same place, maybe a different way. All right, if you want to watch this video, skip ahead to the 3-minute mark if you're not watching with us live. The 3-minute mark is where we really get into the content. We usually let our live audience build, and they've been looking forward to this. So Pat Hart is here. Pat Hart is my boss. He's the one who buys these cars for us. He's the one that's decided to make us a true EV dealer, including used EVs. All right, so I'm going to flip around the camera here. We are in a different corner today just because I like the angle for these three cars. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So there's our video we did on the Tesla. If you haven't seen that video, feel free to go check it out. Mostly well-liked. Looks like 413 to 13 is a good ratio. It's got about 33 or 34,000 views. We sell used Teslas here. We are happy to sell you a Tesla if that's what you're interested in. We also sell Kias. Here's our YouTube page. If this video is embedded somewhere, this is where you need to go. So just go to our YouTube page at 2 o'clock on a weekday. If you refresh this page exactly at 2 o'clock, which we're 2:02 right now, you will see our live video right here. It'll have a little live symbol up there. There we go. And that's what we do every day at 2 o'clock. We do a live video. I am happy to do more EV videos if you want. You can just suggest them, and that's what we do. If you don't see it in the front page, you can go to videos. It'll be the very first page there. The reason I'm clicking it now is probably just so we can watch an ad on Polaris, which totally is same market as EV people. All right, we'll skip the ads. What I want to do is be able to see your comments, and I want to be able to see them over there on my big screen. So that's what we're doing. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to take your comments throughout this video, but a lot of it, I kind of let your comments come in and then I go back and check them. So at any point, feel free to ask your question, make your comments. I'm totally happy to answer it and help it out. The only thing I'm asking is do me a favor, hit the like button. I'm doing a video like this. There's not a lot of people that are willing to compare a Tesla to anything. I think they get super nervous about it, and we do it all the time. What we have here is people come to our dealership and they can test drive a Tesla Model 3. They can test drive a Kia Soul EV, a Kia Niro EV, and they can test drive a Tesla Model Y right now. Now, the Y, to be fair, pretty rare. But people do actually compare them. You can't do that at a Tesla dealer because that's a different story. So let's talk about some of these cars, talk about some of the differences. Here we go. All right, so I do have some notes today because there are a number of things I wanted to capture. Usually I sort of make mental notes and go through them, but I am going to go through the notes. So the very first thing, let's just talk about price. Obviously, price is a difference when you look at a Tesla, and a lot of people who compare something like that Tesla over there will tell me that Tesla is way better than that car. And you're probably right. That Tesla is about $97,000 new. This car is not. So let's talk about pricing just to be fair so that we look at apples to apples, and we make some fair comparisons. Nobody would compare a $97,000 Mercedes and expect it to have the same components as a Kia Soul, but you may be surprised at what it does have. So this is what we're looking at today. I have a Kia Soul EV Premium. That is my personal car in the video bay today. It is $42,995. Now, mine is actually a 2020 model. This is a 2021. Just a minor tweak difference on mine, but nothing you're going to talk about in this video. Essentially the exact same car. Now, the difference is I didn't pay $42,999, not because I work here, but because the government gives me $5,000 off. This is an under $40,000 in Canada EV that you can buy today. So when you take 42.9, whatever it was, 42,995, you take that $5,000 rebate off, you're under 40,000 for that car. And that's a really good reason to buy an EV new at that price point. But we're going to talk about some features. Now, we both know this Tesla Model Y or 3 and that Tesla Model Y, they have a lot more power. These are cars that are very powerful cars. And obviously, if you want that, that's great. Now, one of the catches with power is I will say that this car, I believe, is like 3 point something seconds, 0 to 60. My car's not. We're going to talk about that in a second. However, when we have something like a 700 horsepower Corvette come to the dealership, very few people are allowed to drive that because that is a lot of power to put under the right foot of somebody who doesn't want that. And that's the thing I think to keep in mind is although these cars are super fast and super fun, not everybody wants or needs that much power. This is an economy car body basically, and it's got 291 foot-pounds of torque, which if you made a little Kia Soul with 291 foot-pounds of torque of instant torque everywhere in the rev range, essentially everywhere in the rev range, that would be on the front cover of every automotive magazine. So you still have a ton of instant power in this car, but I'm not going to compare power. And I think to be fair, the price difference allows me to say that car is going to be faster, and that's okay. To me, power is not a huge advantage simply because that car is a rocket compared to most cars I would have considered in that price range. All right, the other thing really quickly to consider, you can see right now we are in Canada. It is a little bit of a snowy day, not too bad, but there is some snow outside. If you look at a Tesla Model 3, you are rear-wheel drive only. Unless you move to the dual motor, then you're all-wheel drive, and that costs more again. The Kias are all front-wheel drive EVs. At least my Kia Soul is, and all current EVs in the Kia lineup are front-wheel drive. To me, that is a safety feature for someone like my wife who has never driven a rear-wheel drive vehicle. She drives this car all the time, and front-wheel drive is a nice safety feature to have, especially in poor weather. I get that rear-wheel drive can be more fun. It is a better performance thing. But front-wheel drive is a safety feature in when you talk about snowy weather. It's something to consider. So to me, that's a pro for the Kia, although I get why it might be a con. Now, here's the other reason that I bought my car. Tesla Model 3. This car, and to be fair, if you're thinking because I work at a Kia dealer, I have to drive a Kia, I drive a Chevrolet pickup as well. And I get it. If you're an EV person, you don't get that. But the pickup is the best vehicle I have to tow my little bit larger trailer. All right, so I'm going to jump inside one car right now. This is, let me just show you, the Tesla Model 3. And I'm going to hop in right here. I have the seat set for myself out front, and I am in the back seat right now. Now, the joke with the Tesla video I did earlier is I listed that I was 6 feet tall. I am 6 feet tall. I have this much headroom, about the width of my hand. It's not a lot. It's okay. You fit an adult back here, and if you're going to take an adult, it's fine. For me, when I'm purchasing my car, it's not enough. It's just not enough headroom. The other thing I don't like about the Tesla Model 3 rear seat, my legs are quite raised up here. Now, I'm trying to make them as low as I can, but that is literally as low as I can. I'm trying to be fair to Tesla fans who say the rear seat's fine. It might be fine for you. I have fairly long legs, and I can't quite sit level. So that brings me to Tesla Model Y territory, and now we're more money again. So just so you know, if you want to see the back seat of the Kia Soul, oh, this could be tricky. I asked the guys to clean up my car, but I didn't ask them to check out the back seat. So this is where it gets messy. Okay. Hopping in here. Oh, look at that. Dirty boots, child seats. All right. This is what living with kids is like, guys. And we'll talk about that too in a second. All right, let me jump in here. What you're going to notice right away is headroom. I've got a lot. It's a bigger back seat by a whole lot. Knee room, let's just see. Actually, we'll try to get it this way. Again, I'm sitting behind myself. I've got way more leg room. And if I can get the angle right, my legs are on the seat. They are flat on the seat. You just quite simply are a lot more comfortable in the back of a Kia Soul EV than you are in the back of a Model 3. Now, one thing I was going to point out right here, take a peek. Plastic back seats. I get this is not a luxury feature. I've got kids. You can tell. Their feet touch here. Here's the nice thing about plastic back seats. That wipes off. No staining of the fabric. And that might matter to you if you spend the $1,300, I believe it is, to go with something like a white interior on your Tesla. So just something to keep in mind. For me, a really good reason to go to the Kia is just rear seat space. It's got better rear seat room, and that can't be argued. That doesn't mean it's a better car. It means it's a better car for me. All right. Love the plastic back seats. Yeah, so do I. Okay. Let's talk about charging network. Obviously, Tesla brags about the charging network. They have probably what I would consider to be the best charging network in the world. Here's the thing though. This car here is a second car for me. We have two cars. I mentioned I have a pickup truck. We do our road trips in that. We take our trailer, we do our longer things. Now I have done longer trips in this car, and I can do long trips in this car. But Tesla's charging network is the thing they brag about because you can go anywhere in a Tesla. Well, I've owned this car for a year and a half now. I've never had a situation where I've gone somewhere that I can't find a charging network easily, very easily. So while Tesla's charging network is an advantage, it's only an advantage if they have a charger in a place where I can't get a charger for my car. And the reality is, where I live, chargers are literally everywhere. And I'm tied to a whole bunch of different networks. I'm not just tied to Tesla. Now, you say, okay, Tesla can charge anywhere as well. They can, except if you forget that little charge adapter that fits the Tesla, then you're stuck with only one charging network. It's just something to keep in mind, and I get it. Tesla people, you guys remember that. You keep it in your thing. But the advantage of a charging network for Tesla was not an advantage for me because everywhere I go with this car, I've never had a situation where I can't find a charger. So that's something to keep in mind. Although they have a system that they brag about, and it's a very, very good system, charging networks are getting really good. And we'll talk about some other charging network advantages when we get back in a second. All right, range. You guys are all going to tell me yes, but my Tesla has way more range than your car. These Teslas both have more range than my car. So let's talk range. To get to my price point, I have what's rated for 248 kilometers. Now, all the Tesla people are going to start to laugh right now, and that's fine. You can laugh. 248 kilometers may not seem like a lot. That's what the rated range is. 3 seasons of the year, I get 300 kilometers of range. In the winter, I get a little bit less than that. I'm right just a hair under 248 right now in the middle of the winter. Here's what we've noticed. Again, we are Tesla fans here as well. Our Kia range is less optimistic than the Tesla. And what I mean is it's actually pessimistic. So, for instance, we have a Kia Niro EV. My parents own one. They are people that could have bought a Tesla. They can afford a Tesla. They also chose a Kia, not because I work here, but because they thought it was a better car for them. We'll talk about some of the reasons why as well. So the Kia Niro is rated at 385 kilometers. My parents consistently in the summer get over 500 kilometers in that car. To see a Kia EV, the 383 or 385 kilometer of range EV, to see that car get 425, 450, or 475, that's pretty common 3 seasons of the year. 450, I would say, is a very, very common number. 3 seasons of the year in the Kia EVs, the Soul long range and the Soul and the Niro. Now, mine is a shorter range car. Does it matter? No, for my use, it doesn't. So here's my thinking on range. Generally speaking, 300 kilometers for me, if you don't know Ontario, I'm in Brantford. I can drive from here to downtown Toronto, back to Brantford, back to downtown Toronto in 300 kilometers. That's how far I can get. So it's actually quite a bit of range when people who know the area talk about that. And for my 300 kilometers, I don't really need to spend more. And the reason is because charging networks are so available. I can charge that car 80% in about an hour. And that might be a little slower than Tesla. But the reality is if I'm ever stuck, I usually don't have to wait for the hour. By the time I've charged the car, 15, 20 extra percent, I can get home again. So an extra 5, 10, 15-minute stop at a fast charger usually gets me home when I've blown through the close to 300 kilometers of real world range that car gets. And that's 10 grand of savings pretty much to get the lower range car. So for the 2 times a year that I go take that car and I do a longer trip than about 300 kilometers, that works for me. I see you get Pat's helping in the comments. I appreciate that, Pat. I am going to get to comments in a second here. We're going to keep going through. I want to talk regenerative braking. We're going to jump in the car now. You guys all know Teslas have regenerative braking. Here's an advantage that Kia has, and it's a big one. I don't think people realize that this is the kind of thing that Tesla should have. So you guys have all seen, Audis and Porsches, and they've got paddle shifters. And I get it. Paddle shifters, super cool. We all like paddle shifters. This car has what you would consider paddle shifters, but what they actually are regenerative braking paddles. You can tweak your regenerative braking system on this car just by tapping these paddles or holding these paddles. That is something that Tesla can't do. And most Kia drivers, they'll drive along and they'll allow the car to roll a little extra. It's still regenerative braking. It still has regenerative braking, but it'll roll a little extra when you can let off the throttle a little bit. Now, I get it. You want and it will come to almost a complete stop. Everything but. So very, very similar to a Tesla. Oh, muted. Oh, am I muted or am I on my Bluetooth? Are we back, guys? Switch to car stereo. That's what I thought. Sorry about that, guys. Whenever I use my car Bluetooth, it switches to my Bluetooth. So I apologize. We'll turn this car on and off, and I forgot to disconnect that. All right. So one of the things that regenerative braking, the benefit is you can switch it on the like immediately when you're doing that. So you can increase the regenerative braking or decrease it by using this. And Tesla people are like, well, why would I want to do that? Well, I can tell you, almost every Kia EV person that I know uses these paddles religiously. It's a super convenient function that feels like it's missing in the Tesla when you go from an EV to a Kia EV to a Tesla. All right, just trying to put this car in gear. And oh, you know what? I don't think I turned the car to on. There we go. Now we're turning it on. Okay. What I want to show you here is that is my auto regenerative braking label. So that auto right there, what that does is it's a kind of a cool feature that Tesla doesn't do the same way. If this car sees a car in front of it, it will regenerate more braking when you let off the throttle. It doesn't. It will let you coast a little bit extra and then regenerate extra on its own. This car, like a Tesla, sees cars in front of it. So it can use the radar plate in front and it can see a car in front. And when the car's in front and I let off the throttle, it will give me extra regenerative braking. Now let's talk about autopilot and self-drive and all these kinds of things. Tesla's original autopilot, basically what it did, kept you centered in your lane, and it would it would accelerate and decelerate based on the traffic in front of you. Well, welcome to Kia's Smart Cruise Control. It does basically the exact same thing. This car, when you have lane keep assist on, isn't like Honda system where it just vibrates if you touch the lane. It steers the car for you. If you want a Kia that steers itself centered down the lane, you can take your hands off the wheel. I mean, you shouldn't, but you can take your hands off the wheel. It'll go down the road. It'll keep turning left. It'll keep turning right in the bends of the road. Feels a lot like autopilot. And like a Tesla, you're supposed to keep your hand on the wheel and touch it. This car, you're supposed to keep your hand on the wheel and touch it. It does virtually the same thing as far as steering itself down the road. And when you had that smart cruise on, which again, when you set the Tesla autopilot, it's just like turning the cruise control on. So you set the cruise control, it does a very similar thing. It sees the cars in front of you, gas and brake, and there we go. Who gave the thumbs down, says Pat. Oh, somebody doesn't like me today. That's okay. All right, I'm going to turn this car off again. Actually, we're not going to turn this car off. The other thing we're going to talk about is the screen display here. Not everybody everybody says the Tesla screen display is really impressive, and it really, really is. Now, again, this car has navigation, and one of the knocks against this compared to a Tesla is that when you go to the navigation screen, oops, going to Oakville Place apparently. Now, this normally looks a little whiter outside. It thinks we're in a dark room, so it's dark in the nighttime mode. Some people think that this doesn't look as pretty as the map in a Tesla. Well, that's fine. This has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Basically, what the Tesla uses is Google Maps, guys. You can get the Google Maps screen right here. Now, keep in mind your 15-inch screen in the Tesla. This car is a 10-1/4-inch screen. Your Tesla has to share some of that 15-inch screen with your speedometer and everything, which we have over here now, and another digital display over there. So it's sharing some of that screen at all times. It shares your climate system, which again, on this car is off right now just to save some noise. But it shares some of that screen. So effectively, you have the same type of viewing area in this car. Now, is a Tesla cooler? Yes, the Tesla has a cool look to it. But functionally, this works as better. And sometimes I find the navigation is even clearer and popped out a little larger on this car than on a Tesla. So something to consider. The other thing that people like, this is one reason my parents bought this car or a similar car, real buttons. Real buttons are easy to touch. If you've ever tried to turn on the heated seat when you're going down a Tesla and you hit a bump, it's kind of hard to hit that button. Real buttons are easier to hit, and some people like them. Start stop button, I get it. Tesla's like, why put one in if you don't really need one? People like the knowing that their car is on or off with the start stop button. It just works really well. Heated steering wheel, same thing in this car. Electronic parking brake. Drive modes. You have chill and sport in something like a Tesla. You have eco, normal, sport, and eco plus mode in this car. So both do similar types of things and make a car feel more aggressive and less aggressive. Very similar type options in some of these cars. Let's talk about headlights for a second. You have LED headlights. They're automatic, of course. That's what you would expect. Now, when I turn on my high beams, you can see right there, it says auto. The high beams didn't turn on. Why? Because if I zoom back out, it senses that there's road lights around. Now, when you use auto high beams in the Tesla Model X that I last drove at night, the auto high beams turn on and then they turn off if it sees a car. This car won't just turn off when it sees a car. It's illegal to drive with your high beams in town. If it sees street lights around, it will also turn off your automatic high beams. And you can turn them on if you want, and you can turn them off if you want. All right, we're going to turn this car off, switch to the Bluetooth. Let me know, are we back with the sound, guys? Just let me know if the sound's working. We'll turn that car off. Anybody sound? Somebody? All right, we're good. Okay, perfect. So let's just take your questions now. I just want to jump back and see if I missed something. I'm sure I have. And then we're going to continue on a few other things where I think Kia does things as well or better than Tesla, and again, at a lower price. So let me just jump over to your comments here. All right. Some of these comments I know Pat was answering, so you guys are going to have to help me with some context. Can I get some likes, guys? 39 of you are on right now. I'm trying to get to about 40 likes today, so we're going to have a couple hundred people on easily on this video. Doesn't Tesla portray themselves as a luxury brand? They do. Okay. Hate when the car jerks the steering wheel. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, when the car turns? Well, both cars, when they self-drive, they will turn your steering wheel a little bit. How long have you owned Tesla? How long have you owned your Tesla so far, Peter? I don't have a Tesla. I have the Soul. Keep going back. Quality on Tesla. We're going to talk about some of that stuff. Regen braking. Yep, you guys agree with that. Okay. Opinion on the Cybertruck. We'll happily go off topic on that. So let's keep going. What do you think of the fit and finish of Kia and Tesla? That's exactly where we're headed. All right. Here's the thing that bothers me. This here is a $97,000 car. It's a $97,000 car, brand new. And there's all kinds of videos online of panel gaps that don't fit. And this car's got the same thing. We're trying to sell this car, so I'm not going to downsell it. But you can see a bigger gap here, a much narrower gap here. Maybe it doesn't show on camera, but there are panel gap issues in this car that you just don't see in a modern Kia. So little stuff like that, you know, it happens. I don't think people are at the end of the world. Some people don't like the door handles. I think they're kind of cool, but I get why some people don't. Here again is a $97,000 car. Now, let's be really honest about what Tesla has here. They call it minimalistic. The reality is this is cost savings, guys. We all know this. Part of the minimalistic look of this car is cost savings. It does look cool, but it's also part of cost savings. Now, here's one thing that drives me nuts. I'm inside a $97,000 car. This clicks. This is cheap plastic. I'm wearing earphones and microphones that you can probably not hear that sound. But when you tap this stuff, it's cheap dollar store plastic. It's not nice. I find some of these things are weird to open. They don't, this one I have trouble latching. Every time I have trouble latching, tell me what I'm doing wrong, Tesla people. It does not latch for me. It drives me nuts. Apparently I have to just touch it very gentle. But if I touch it hard, it does not latch. And that drives me nuts. It's cheaper plastic. And in a $100,000 car, what's it going to cost? $300 to add a little bit of better plastic in this car? Any Kia has as good or nicer plastics than this. And that bothers me in a car of this price point. You get in, people are super impressed to be inside a Tesla, and the door won't stay shut. I get it. You got to be real gentle with it. But those kind of things, the feel of this stuff, especially along the side here, is cheapy plastic. You can see, again, minimalistic controls, no English language on these, and that makes sense. But I just find that you don't always know what these are. Did you know that this is how you adjust your mirrors in here, but you have to go over to here to get it to the right spot? If you've never driven a Tesla, you can't get in, find your mirror adjustment, and that can really annoy some people. And again, I'm not saying that that's a problem. Tesla people figure that out. But one of the reasons my parents bought the car, my mom is not a high-tech person. My dad is. He would love a Tesla. However, the more he got used to his car, the more he got used to the Kia, he realized that he actually prefers a lot of the features of his car that he would wish would be in a Tesla. One thing I'm going to say about the seats, guys, I know that you guys like Tesla seats. They are narrower than my Kia Soul seats. The way my body sits on the side bolsters at my hip point, they are a little too narrow, and it's not the most comfortable seat. They're okay, but they're not as comfortable as my Soul. And the other thing people don't like is the lack of adjustable headrests on some of these cars. I don't know if this one has adjustable headrest. I believe they do not. The Kia Soul, of course, does. You can place it where you need it. So that's another little thing. But yeah, plastics on this car for a $100,000 car are not up to par. And that's, again, part of the Tesla experience. You guys get that. And that's okay. But it's not okay to me. I would rather have a car that feels a little bit nicer. All right, let me just go back, check my notes, guys. I have a few other things I want to talk about. Let's talk about parking the cars. Maybe I'll just show you again. We'll hop back in this car. When you park a Tesla, it does some pretty cool things. I really like this about Tesla, but let's just show you what it actually does. If you've never driven a Tesla or parked a Tesla, here we go. We're going to crash the $100,000 car. Okay, put foot on the brake, hit the car in let's go in reverse. So you can see I'm going in reverse. It shows a pretty cool graphic. Tesla does graphics better than any other car maker. I'm going to gently go back to the wall behind me. You can see in the camera there, just as clear backup camera in a Kia as this one. So see here, you've got the yellow line. Oops, I just touched it. I probably shouldn't have touched it. Let's put it in park. And this is the other thing that drives me nuts. If you touch something, it's changed. There we go. Okay, so now you can see the lines there. So not only can I see the distance, but I can see the lines. Now, what's cool about Tesla is it measures to the centimeter. See how far away I am from the wall? 76 centimeters, and you can sort of see where it is. I think that's really well done. If you buy something like a Kia Niro EV, you get the exact same experience. You have the camera, you have a warning that goes from yellow to red, from green to yellow to red. It does not show you the centimeters, but it does show you basically the same thing. Tesla does it better in the screen, but functionality wise, it's better. Now, here's the thing where Tesla doesn't do it as well as my car. Let's see if I can try to show you around. If you look at this car, look at the rear window. It is not a big rear window. It's tough to see out of. What you're looking at mostly on this screen is the sunroof, which you can't see out of in this room because I'm inside. But if you look around this car, let me just make sure I'm in park. I am. The visibility is not great. When you're parking a car without visibility, on this car, you have to rely on the tech. In my car, I can see better. Your brain is much more comfortable when you can see everything as opposed to when you can just rely on the technology. Visibility is much better. And that matters when you're driving. I get that this car sees other cars. So does mine. Mine has blind spot detection. Mine has rear cross traffic alert. Mine sees cars that I can't always see either. It's got things that can see the cars in front of me as well. It's got emergency stopping, those kinds of things. But visibility is not as good in most Teslas as it is certainly in the Kia. And that matters when you're parking. One final thing, as we talk about parking the car, one of the easiest cars to park in the world is a Kia Soul. It's got a tighter turning circle by a lot compared to both of these Tesla vehicles. So when I'm maneuvering them around in a video bay like this, or when you're going to the shopping mall and you're parking them, turning circle is better on the Kia Soul. It just is. And that's something that I feel like Tesla could do better, given what they do. All right. We're going to talk about smartphone apps. You guys have all, I don't have, because I'm filming with my phone today, the Teslas can be controlled with a smartphone app. One thing that's super cool about it is I can use the cell phone app to move the car a couple inches forward or feet forward or whatever. I can summon the car in some cases, or I can just use it like a remote control, move the car forward and back. Pretty cool feature. Hyundai has what's called a smart park feature, kind of the same thing. So it's in the Kia Hyundai parts bin. It's not on my car. What is on my car is the ability to start my car from, when I say start, I mean preheat the inside of my car from my cell phone. I can do a whole bunch of things. I can control the charge. Both cars have a cell phone app. Both cell phone apps work pretty well. And for instance, some people will say, oh, I'm going to leave my dog in the Tesla because I can leave the air conditioning on. And there's like a dog mode in there. Well, in my Kia, I can leave a dog in there as well and remote start it through my cell phone and keep an eye on, make sure it's still running and it's cool. So if I'm running in the store for 5 minutes and I want to leave my dog in the car with the windows up and the air conditioning on, I can do that, and I can control it from my smartphone. I can see what's going on. I can also see if the doors are open, windows are open, cars locked, those kind of things. I can check the state of charge right on my phone. So if you're looking for that cool cell phone experience of the Tesla, you can still get a cool cell phone experience in the Kia as well. And again, a lot less money. All right. Dealer network. Okay. 29 minutes in. This is supposed to be a half-an-hour video. We are at the dealer network portion of this thing. I haven't always worked at a dealer. Pat and I were talking. Pat's on the lines, or Pat's on the comment section right now. Pat's owned a dealership. He's worked in a dealership his whole life. He's owned a dealership for a long time. I don't really come from a dealership background, and we kind of like to keep me thinking like you guys. A lot of you don't like dealer networks. A lot of you don't like dealers. I get that. Most of us have had a bad experience at a dealer. Here's the thing. Tesla's got about 8 stores in Ontario. Ontario's a big province, a lot of population. Kia has 66. If you do need a dealer network, you have an advantage with a Kia dealer network. It's just, that's there. Now, let's talk about not liking a dealer. Do you really not want the dealership experience, or do you actually just not want to deal with unhelpful, uneducated people at a dealership? Because from my experience coming to the dealership, one of the reasons Pat hired me, my name tag when I wear it says customer care, is to take care of customers. I just bought a Google Home Wi-Fi system. It doesn't work correctly. And if anybody who knows how to work that thing correctly wants to help me, that would be fantastic because I can't reach someone from Google, even though I know people who work at Google. The same thing with Tesla. Sometimes you just want to call that person. You wish you knew somebody and say, hey, how does this work? Or can you walk me through this or that? Or remember you showed me XYZ? Well, sometimes a YouTube video isn't good enough. If you buy a Kia EV from us or any EV from us, including a Tesla, you get my contact information. I have texted people at 10:30 at night, 11:30 at night. I have FaceTimed with people. I have made a little quick video on my phone to show them how the features of their EV work, to talk to them about it. If we need a part, you can call me directly. I will follow it through. As we service these cars, I have questioned some of the things we do. I've pushed and advocated for you on behalf of our dealer. I really genuinely feel we are the best dealer to sell you any EV, even if we're selling you a make that isn't ours. We have a Nissan Leaf on property right now. We have a Hyundai Ioniq on property right now. We sell the Kia EVs. We stock the Kia PHEVs, which almost nobody does, and we stock Teslas. Sometimes a dealer network is a really great thing to have, especially when you've got quality people. Dealers are about people, and I get it. Tesla wants to cut the middleman out in theory to save you money. I'm not sure that you're saving as much money as you think you are. However, having a person matters. And I will say, the reason we did the video that got 35,000 views in a week or so on the Tesla Model Y and the Tesla Model 3, the size comparison is because Tesla's not going to make that video. They're not going to show you some of those things. And we do that to sell used vehicles. Imagine what we can do for you if you buy a new vehicle. So there we go, everybody. We've looked at the two cars. I would, if I had to buy an EV again, I'm going to be honest. I quite like the styling of the sleekness of this Model 3, the sleekness of that Model Y. Right now, today, if I could buy any EV, it would still be that. Right now, today, if I could buy any EV truck that's coming, Cybertruck intrigues me, but I'm going to go with the Rivian truck. There are other reasons to like other EVs, and it's not just about price. I like the way this car drives. The 291 foot-pounds of torque is all the power I need. The way the lane keep and the smart cruise work is all the self-drive I need. And it's not a $10,000 option. I'm getting all of that on this car for less than $40,000, and you can get that. So that's a really big thing for me. I still would prefer this car over these. Price matters, and if the Tesla price comes down, sure, that changes some things a little bit. But I'm telling you, the interior, I don't like it. Some of the tech, I don't love it. Some of it looks pretty cool, and I get why people like it. And if you want to buy one, we're happy to do that. Yeah, the MSRP of the Tesla Model X that we had was $235,000, and I can tell you right now, when I could buy my car, my truck, my trailer, most of my house for the same price, it's not worth it for me. So there is a value equation there. All right, guys, if there's any questions, I'm going to take your questions. If you are watching and you're not live with us, you're not participating in the live chat, feel free to comment below. I'm not saying you have to like a Kia over a Tesla. I'm saying there's some really good reasons to like it. And I'm saying what actually happens at this dealer is people come in, test drive the Tesla alongside Kia. And I know this is going to blow some of you Tesla fanboys away. People drive EVs from Kia because they like them better than Tesla. It happens. It happens all the time. We like Teslas quite a bit. We'll sell you one. We'll happily sell you one. We always stock them. But there's another reason. There's a good reason to buy Kia EVs. And one final thing. Rumor is Apple is looking to partner with Hyundai Kia, to make EVs. So Kia EV technology is certainly world class. All right, you guys are asking some questions. Pat, is there anything I miss? If I'm just going to look for Pat's questions first because he's my boss and I like getting a paycheck. If there's anything I missed that I should have answered that I didn't, feel free to ask me in the questions below. If not, we're going to try to keep this video to an appropriate length. Styling. Yeah, styling is something we kind of talked about. Styling to me is preference. I like the styling overall look of these. Teslas have the front, which we don't have yet, but our next generation of EVs, I would expect it to have space in the front. A lot of people like the sort of mainstream styling. The Kia Soul has a different front end on the gas or electric, but you can see you still have the basic look here. A lot of people don't like the look of the front end of these Teslas here. They're weird proportions from the front. They kind of look, I think, sharp from the side. I know Garth here does not like the shape of these cars. One of the things that he's not a big fan of is the shape. A lot of us, we kind of like the big wheels here, but that's pretty cool. Um, Again, Pat, I think I covered a lot. Is there something else I missed? That's what the news is saying in Korea. Yeah, the news is saying in Korea that Kia may be making the Apple car. And I think the fact that Apple's looking at it is not a surprise to anybody who works at Kia. There's a lot of great technology outside of Tesla that's being developed right now. Tesla certainly gets the press on it. Okay, is there anything else that I missed here? I think we're going to leave it right there. All right, everyone, if you have any more questions, feel free to get us in the comments below. You want to see more Tesla videos? We've done some used cars. They're used cars to us. We'll happily make videos for it. We're a great EV dealer, great used car dealer. We do our best for you. So we'll make those for you. We certainly do a lot of EV videos as well. My hope is I can earn your subscription. We're going to be talking a lot more about electric vehicles in the coming weeks, months, and years. I'm really looking forward to introducing to you the next Kia EV, which I'm hoping to hear about more this year. So feel free to subscribe and leave us a like just for the fact that we did this video. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again on Monday. Oh, Kia class. We do a Kia class every week, twice a week. I just posted one about an hour before this video, so that's up as well, and enjoy that as well. Thanks everybody for watching.